Three states are gearing up to give Democrats three very big clues about the state of politics and what voters are thinking. There are off-year races unfolding right now in New Jersey, Virginia, and California. Money is pouring in, ads are going up, and for a sense of the stakes, look no further than the explosive debate between the two people vying to become the next governor of New Jersey, a race one local reporter describes as getting more bitter by the day.
My opponent on Friday went down to Washington, voted yes on a resolution to celebrate Charlie Kirk's life, but then within minutes sent out a statement that basically condemned him. I think that was wrong.
You can have 30 seconds to respond.
That's a neat trick to say you don't want to divide people, and then in your answer, bring up something that's very divisive. Here's the thing. I care deeply about this country. I stand against political violence.
Joining us now, Ken Martin, chair of the Democratic National Committee. Thanks for coming on the program. So let's talk about New Jersey. Let's start there, where the current governor, the House and the Senate are all Democratic. But it's also where Donald Trump kept it much closer last year, where Republican registration is on the rise. So what do you think this debate and this race will tell Democrats about the state of the party?
Well, we feel really great about our candidate there, Mikey Sherrill. She's running a campaign that's resonating with New Jersey voters. She's focused on the issues that matter most, especially affordability. She's talked about making sure on day one that she freezes those utility hikes, making sure that she's standing up and fighting for working people in her state. And her message is resonating. I've been on the ground multiple times in New Jersey, and I can tell you, Mikey is doing a great job right now, as are the other candidates on the ballot. We feel very bullish about our chances there.
So is what you're saying it's the economy, stupid? For all the other stuff that's out there and getting headlines, and they're going to talk about things like what we just heard, and I'm not in any way downplaying the importance of a First Amendment discussion, but is it the economy?
Well, you know, James Carville said this best back in '92, and really nothing has changed since then, Chris. It's always been the economy. That's what people vote on first, is their own economic interest and their pocketbook issues. And that's where Mikey is squarely focused on, is making sure that people can afford their lives, making sure that, people can actually put groceries on the table, afford their mortgage, maybe, afford just enough money they can save to maybe take their family on a vacation. The American dream, the idea that if you work hard and play by the rules, you should be able to climb the economic ladder. That's what Mikey's fighting for, to make sure that people can afford their lives.
So you folks at the DNC announced last week that $1.5 million investment into New Jersey's election is being added, bringing the total to $3 million, the largest investment the DNC has ever made in the Garden State during an off-year election. According to the New York Times, 4 years ago, the DNC spent less than half as much on Governor Phil Murphy's reelect. Does this latest investment point to a sign of maybe some concern the party could lose the governor's seat in November?
Not at all. Look, I said I was going to put my money where my mouth was when I was elected DNC chair. I always run like I'm 20 points behind, even if we're 20 points ahead. You don't take anything for granted. Most of the public polling and private polling shows that Mikey has a lead, but we've got to continue to put our foot on the gas. We can't take anything for granted here in New Jersey or Virginia or Pennsylvania. We've made record investments in Virginia as well, investments in Pennsylvania, investments throughout this country. To make sure we can compete up and down the ballot. And as a result, you've seen us overperform in 44 elections that have been on the ballot now. We've overperformed to the tune of about 16 percentage points on average. There's wind at our back, and there's headwinds that the Republicans are facing right now. But again, we don't take anything for granted. We don't rest on our laurels. We're going to continue to organize. We're going to continue to invest, and we're going to run through the tape all the way through when the polls close in both New Jersey and Virginia.
So what are you seeing so far in Virginia, and anything that suggests to you about where you activate volunteers, about what the messaging should be?
The messaging is the same as it is in New Jersey. What's animating people throughout this country right now is that people are working harder than they ever have before and feeling like they're falling behind, that they're being forgotten, that they're being left behind in this economy that seems to be benefiting only those at the top, the rich, the powerful, the billionaires, the wealthy corporations. And so people want an economy and a government that's going to work for them and to make sure that they can get ahead in life. It's the same in New Jersey as it is in Virginia, throughout the rest of the country. Now, we have great candidates, of course, in Virginia. Abigail Spanberger leading the ticket, along with their lieutenant governor candidate, Ghazala Hashimi, and then, of course, the great attorney general candidate, Jay Jones. I expect all three of them to win. They're running great campaigns right now. And again, we've made record investments there, and we're going to continue to invest time, energy, and resource all the way through Election Day in Virginia.
Our NBC News affiliate spoke to some early voters there in Virginia, and I want to play what some supporters of the Republican Winsome Earle-Sears said was on their minds as they cast their early vote.
I certainly don't like the fact that boys are in girls' sports and females undressing with men in the room, and boy's a boy and a girl's a girl.
I am not for boys and girls sports. I'm not for open borders.
I look at the governance we have, and I believe the state's been running pretty well. It seems like, budgetary matters are good.
One of the concerns I've heard from some Democrats, and that means you're surely hearing it as well, is they're concerned that Republicans get on something that they know will motivate voters. And I don't need to tell you that in an off year election, number one, you got to get your voters to the polls, right? So when you hear things like that, does it concern you? And how do you find that one thing that gets people who otherwise might stay at home out to vote?
Well, I'll tell you, we're not hearing that on the doors in Virginia. I was just out there yesterday door knocking in Northern Virginia, and I talked to dozens of voters, and I didn't hear any of that. And I'll tell you, of course, you were talking to Republican supporters there of the candidate. I will tell you, when you talk to independent voters, and you can certainly see this in the polls, the most independent voters, the number one issue for them, again, is the economy. And so this is where the Republicans are failing right now. Donald Trump and the Republicans promised that they were going to, on day one, make people's lives more affordable in this country, and they've done nothing but. All they've focused on is actually building an economy that works for those at the very top, from his tariffs to this big ugly bill that passed, and now even this debate with this potential government shutdown around the ACA. The reality is they're making health care more expensive. They're making it harder for people to afford their rents or child care, or the cost of living. Grocery prices are soaring. The tariffs are destroying industry in this country, and there's no end in sight at this point. And the people who are being screwed the most are hardworking Virginians, hardworking New Jerseyans, and hardworking Americans who expect better from this administration right now.
Let me ask you about Kamala Harris's new book. She's going to be on with Rachel Maddow tonight, so I'm sure we'll get some insights into that. But the memoir is 107 days. As you know, it recounts her whirlwind presidential campaign. It's out this week, and she lobs criticism at several major players in the party: Pete Buttigieg, Josh Shapiro, Gavin Newsom, all, of course, potential presidential candidates. Is it unhelpful for her to be criticizing people who could very well be on the ballot in 2028?
Well, let me just say this. I think the world of Vice President Harris, and I thought she ran an amazing campaign along with my governor, Tim Walz, in those last 107 days, and she's entitled to her say for sure. What I'm focused on in terms of the last election, and frankly, the many years that preceded that, is finding out what worked and what didn't work that can help inform the future so that we win elections again. And that's where my focus is going to be. There's a lot of folks who want a Monday morning quarterback. There's a lot of folks who are looking backwards to try to point fingers and blame. That's not me.
Due respect, Chairman, this isn't looking backwards. This is today, as Democrats are looking for a leader, as Democrats are trying to figure out who could be the person to galvanize our party, to get them excited again. And three big names are people that she has had some pretty critical things to say about.
Well, like I said, everyone's entitled to their say. I'm not going to get involved in any of that. My job is to win elections and focus on how we can actually build power around our agenda and ultimately deliver public policy that improves people's lives. I'm not going to get into the back and forth on that. Everyone's entitled to their opinions. Everyone's entitled to their say. What I'm interested in is making sure the Democratic Party wins again.
Ken Martin, it's good to have you on the program. Thank you.